Today, we're going to be looking at simple conversions for pressure units and also temperature units, as well as simple problems involving the calculation of pressure, which is force divided by area. Now, first of all, for pressure conversions, the basic units and the basic equalities for pressure is 1 atmosphere is equal to 760 millimeters of mercury, which is equal to 101.3 kilopascals, which is equal to 14.7 pounds per square inch, psi. A typical problem may involve the conversion, for example, of millimeters of mercury to atmospheres. We simply use that part of this equality that converts between millimeters and atmospheres in order to solve. Since we're going from millimeters to atmospheres, and we know that there are 760 millimeters for every 1 atmosphere, I can go 760 millimeters of Hg is equal to 1 atm. I can then set up my grid. Starting point always goes in the top left-hand cell. And since millimeters of mercury on top, I want to put the 760 millimeters of mercury on the bottom, and the 1 atmosphere goes on top. Simple calculation involves 787 divided by 760 gives me 1.04. Since there are 3 significant figures in my starting point, the answer is only going to have 3 significant figures. 1.04 atm. Another example would be going from atmospheres to kilopascals. For this one 1 atmosphere is equal to 101.3 kilopascals. So 1 atmosphere equals 101.3 kilopascals. I set up my grid, 1.3 atmospheres. The 1 atmosphere would go on the bottom so that it cancels out with this one. And the 101.3 kilopascals would go on top. On my calculator, I go 1.43 times, since it's on top, 101.3, and I get 144.8, but since there's only 3 significant figures here, I would simply write 145 kilopascals. Now, for temperature conversions between kelvins and degrees Celsius, the basic equation is this. The temperature in degrees Celsius plus 273 will give you the kelvins. If you're trying to go from kelvins back to degrees Celsius, you simply subtract 273. So here we have 14.7 degrees Celsius, and we add 273, and we get 287.7. Remember, for the rules for significant figures, this number does not count. We only look at the original number, which is the measurement. Since that number goes to 1 place past the decimal, our answer must go to 1 place past the decimal. So the answer would be 287.7 kelvins. Going back the other way, we simply subtract. So we have 359.3 Kelvin minus 273. Subtracting, we have 0.3, 9 minus 3 is 6, 5 minus 7, carry the 1, will give us 8. So the answer would be 86.3 degrees Celsius. And then finally, looking at our final question here, we are using the formula pressure is equal to force divided by area. And the question reads, Over how many square meters would a force of 117 newtons be exerted if the total pressure equals 4.9 pascals? Since the formula is pressure equals force over area, and since we are being asked for the area, we would like to rearrange the formula to isolate A. Since it's on the bottom, first step is we have to multiply both sides by area. That cancels. Now we want to isolate A by dividing both sides by pressure. Those cancel, leaving us with area is equal to force divided by pressure. Plugging in the numbers now, the force is 17 newtons. The pressure is 4.9 pascals. On my calculator, I go 17 divided by 4.9. Both of these have two significant figures, so I need to round the answer off to two significant figures, which leaves me with 3.5. And once again, the units for area would be meters squared.